I'm not. No, I'm not. I dropped it! Hello everyone. Look at me posting a YouTube video 2 weeks in a row. Who is she? Productive Queen. Welcome to doing makeup but for hooded eyes. We are going to be jumping into this look today and let me tell you all about it. Okay, I know how this looks. It's not that complicated, I swear. You can do it. I know you can do it. Okay, I'm just gonna get into it. Oh, I almost dropped this flower. Okay. Do you know how long these have been sitting in my makeup drawers? Like a year. They're real pressed flowers and I've been wanting to use them for so long. I saw this look on Instagram and I knew that is what I wanted to use these for. It's not that difficult. You just have to cut them up and stick them on. It's really not bad. I got these pressed flowers on Amazon. Don't remember how much they are, but they do come in a big pack, which is really nice. And you have a giant variety of different colors and shapes. I put these e.l.f. ears on to kind of add to it because it gives me very like fairy fountain, the fairy fountain fairy in Zelda. Anyways, I thought that the ears really added to it, so that's why they're on. So let's talk other products and what I used to achieve this look. Okay, I did not have one single palette that had all of the colors that I wanted, so I used like 4 different ones, but I'm gonna show you what colors and things that I used out of each one. For the majority of this look, I used the Morphe Nyane Fierce Fairytale palette. I used that for the pink cut crease, the yellow, and the orange. So initially, I do a pink underneath these flowers. You can kind of see this line going underneath. And I needed a little bit of a lighter pink to kind of blend that dark pink out. So then I went into a lighter pink in the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Primal palette. For the yellow portion of my eye, I actually mixed 2 different yellows. There was a very light shade of yellow in this Morphe Lucky Charms palette. So I used that yellow and then put a little bit of a darker yellow on top of it. I decided to put a little bit of a shimmer on the yellow portion as well. So for the yellow shimmer, I went into the Morphe Lisa Frank palette. I'm going to talk about liner as well. My go-to was the NYX Epic Wear liner and it still is. If that's available to you, then use that. That is my favorite felt tip liner. Lately, I've been leaning more towards using water activated liners because I like using brushes. I think it's a lot easier for me and I can get really sharp points using those. I will always mention this brand because it is one of my favorite small brands. It's by Hex Baby Beauty and they have really insane pigmented liners and they're so easy to use. I love them. Now brushes, I used a few different kinds, actually a lot of different kinds. Now if I could pick maybe 4 out of the ones that I used, because I used quite a few, I would say a flat densely packed one, a round densely packed one, a small one for details, and then something fluffy to blend things out. The last 2 things you're going to need for this look to stick these bad boys on is some lash glue and some tweezers. You can use whatever lash glue you want, just make sure it dries clear. I personally like to use the Green Duo lash glue. All these products are going to be linked in the description below if you want to get exactly what I got, and I'll also include what mascara and lashes I like to use too. Now with all the products out of the way, let's get into the tutorial. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take some P. Louise on my finger and just kind of go all over my lid. You don't have to do too much on the bottom part of your lid because we're going to be wiping it off to make the cut crease anyway. Get all the way mostly up to your eyebrow. Don't glop it on. You want to make it one even layer. Kind of get it out towards your temple too, since we're going to be carrying a lot of that pink over here. All right, now I'm going to take a pink on a small flat brush and we're going to start mapping out this top shape over here. Don't worry about if it gets on your lid right here because we're going to be wiping that off anyway, but just kind of worry about the line and where it's going, and don't bring it too far up yet because we're going to blend that with a lighter pink. All right, just make sure you're looking at yourself straight on when you do this. If you're doing this, you're not going to be able to make the line correctly. You need to be looking straight on so you can see what's visible, because if you bring it too far down, you're not going to be able to see it because of the hood on your eye. You see how the color's skipping a little bit right here? I'm going to lift my eyebrows and then pack. Kind of drag it and then pack. Also, what helps with this is getting the eyeshadow on the end of the brush. So make sure you're dipping your brush in flat into the pan like this. You can get it on the side as well, but make sure you're getting some on the tip of the brush too. I've made this kind of roundish shape like this up until like the end of my brow bone. So now I'm going to start flicking it kind of up over my eyebrow. Now I'm going to take some light pink on the same brush. I cleaned it off. And I'm just gonna start, honestly, just plopping it on here a little bit on the edge. Now the good thing about this is, since we're covering it with flowers, you don't have to be too precise with the blend. You will see it kind of poking out a bit, but by no means does this have to be super precise. When I get to the end, I'm tapping my brush and flicking it out. Tap, flick like this. I'm gonna pat on that line as well to make it even more blended. I'm gonna take the light pink, like right underneath my eyebrow as well, like on the side of my nose too. I put some micellar water on the end of a Q-tip. Now when you make a cut crease, always look at yourself straight on. You're going to be taking off all of this underneath here. You're going to be cutting your crease where it's visible to you. You see where this pink is coming down right here? I'm going to cut above it right here. Just get rid of all this pigment, because you're going to have to raise your eyebrows for this to get all of the pigment off and make it more of a clean line. It's really hard to cut it with your eye open all the time. So cut it where you can when your eyes open and then finish it up like this. Now, what's easier for me is if I kind of hold my skin back like this too, just for this edge part. It's a lot easier to get a clean line. Now when I'm looking at you straight, I'm gonna start actually taking off a little bit more of this pink because I want to see more of my lid space up here, or what lid space I do have. See, I think that's better. Now I'm gonna take P. Louise on a tiny brush and go underneath this line that we just cut. And again, you might have to switch between drawing the line like this and then actually dragging it out like this. So draw it where you can, and then when it skips from your skin, go ahead and lift your eyebrows up. Now that we have it lined, I'm gonna start taking whatever's on the remainder of my brush. I'm not gonna go back into it, but I'm just gonna start dragging it down a little bit so that it's easier to blend with my finger and that my finger doesn't touch the pink when I'm blending the P. Louise out. Now we can start blending with our finger a little bit. Now get some P. Louise back on your finger and cover your lid. And bring that P. Louise just all the way out to your temple, because we're gonna be blending out that far anyway. So just, you can get kind of messy with it out here, just bring it out all the way. Now I have yellow on a small packing brush, and I'm going to start putting that on the front part of my lid to about the middle. I'm taking the same yellow on a flat packing brush so I can get closer to this pink. Now you don't have to do this, but I'm actually going to take a little bit of a darker yellow to deepen up this lighter yellow because I want it to be a little bit brighter and just have a little bit more depth. I don't love this color by itself. It's not bright enough for me, so I'm going to add just a little bit of a darker yellow. Now I'm going to take some orange on a packing brush and go right on the edge of the yellow and bring it out to about here. I'm also going to just start bringing it into the yellow just a little bit with whatever's on the remainder of my brush. You don't have to dip it back into the orange. Just kind of start bringing it over a little bit to blend into the yellow. Same method here, just going to take orange on the flat brush so I can get closer and just bring that orange all the way out. When you're bringing the orange out, you want to try to bring it up instead of out this way so you can kind of give yourself a wing shape with the eyeshadow. Now I've cleaned off this packing brush. I put a very, very light yellow on it, and I'm going to start taking it on this edge over here to blend out the orange and bring it right into the orange like this, because I actually wanted this orange to be a little bit lighter than what it actually is. So I'm just kind of lightening it up with this light yellow. Now I'm taking a clean fluffy brush. I'm just going to do kind of little circular motions like this and then packing when I get into the orange. I'm going to take some micellar water on a Q-tip again and just clean up my inner corner. You don't have to do glitter or shimmer if you don't like it. I do though, so I'm going to take some of this little yellow shimmer that I have. I'm only going to put it on the yellow portion and a little bit into the orange. I got most of the yellow shimmer on there, so now I'm going to do the same yellow shimmer and put it on a flat brush so I can get closer to the crease once again and just bring it a little bit into the orange, just a little bit. Now on a really tiny brush, I'm going to go back in on the pink just on the edge here and just darken it up a little bit if you need to. You don't have to do this if your pink is still dark. but I was being a little careless with my blend, so I think that it got a little too light. Now for the flowers. Now there is a method to this madness. You can get very creative with this and cut them how you want. I found the easiest way to do it. First of all, I liked them having a clean cut at the bottom, so it kind of lined up with the cut crease like this. What you're gonna do first is put eyelash glue on your skin where you want the flower. Let it dry and get tacky for a second, and then take your tweezers, grab it by the top of the flower, and what you're gonna do is stick the bottom on first, and then grab anything else that you have on hand. It could be the end of a makeup brush. I'm using the end of a spoolie. So what I do is just take this, touch it to the bottom. Don't touch the top yet. You want to come in like this. Press it down with this one and then let go. I'm going to start in the middle here and apply my first flower. I'm going to go on my eyebrow just in case it reaches that far because it's going to dry clear anyways, so it doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure you have enough glue. I'm going to also rest my hand on my head. Makes it a little bit easier to apply. Pull this one off. Yeah, that's better. First flower on is a lot bigger than I was planning on, but whatever. I'm gonna take some more glue and kind of go over the other flower and onto my skin where I want the next petal. Alright, same method all the way around. You're gonna kind of work in layers as well because I want to put a lot of flowers and a lot of petals. So just going over the petal and then onto my skin and applying. Now some of these you might need to cut on an angle if you're going in like this. So right, like this one for example, I'm not gonna cut it straight. I'm gonna kind of cut it with an up angle like this so it's easier to place. See, this is where you can get creative with it because I feel like I need another white petal sticking out like here would be really cute, and then maybe another one like here. Okay, this is what we got so far. I kind of love it. I'm gonna add some of these like little greenery parts too, just to random areas over here, and then honestly we should be almost done. This part is totally extra, you don't have to do this, but I thought it made a big difference. I'm taking a little bit of the dark pink that we initially used, and I'm putting it across the bottom part of the flowers. Just very, very lightly, very light hand. If some of the flowers aren't picking up the pink that it's putting on, just put P. Louise on a tiny little brush on top of the petal, and then you can put the pink on. See, I feel like that makes such a big difference. They look more connected to the entire eye look. And I also just kind of brought it down just the tiniest bit, because you still want it cut crease, so don't bring it down too far. I'm going in with some water activated liner to do the wing. You can use a felt tip liner if you want, use whatever liner you like. You're gonna look at yourself straight on, go from your bottom lash line right here, bring it kind of out and a little bit up. You don't want to go too far up. Kind of want to keep these parallel if you can. From here, we're gonna bring that in. For this liner in particular, I'm trying to stay under where my crease is right here, so I don't have to make any weird shapes. I'm trying to keep it really thin. My eyes aren't as hooded as some other people's, and some people's aren't as hooded as mine, but I can kind of get away with sometimes being able to draw right over my crease if it's underneath it, and it will still be straight. So if I brought this up any higher, I would start getting a weird shape in where my crease is. So I'm happy with this for now. But now I'm going to go across my lid, and you please, this is not going to turn out the way you want to if you don't listen to me. You need to make the absolute thinnest line possible when you're going across your lash line. What I like to do is tilt my head back and take the very edge of my brush or my pen and go right across my lash line like this. Now you need to make it a little bit thicker out here, like this, to connect. See, that's fine, okay? But when you start going across, you need to keep it on its side. Because if you start going too thick, what's going to happen is you're going to rest your eye. See, I even went a little too thick here. You see it just completely disappears. I'm going to fix that. Done my liner, so now I'm just going to take some, this is optional, some white eyeliner and go on my inner corner here, and then go in with a really bright white highlighter. I'm going to put on some mascara, put on some lashes, do my base, and I'll be back. Camera. Hold on. I need to get myself together. Once again, I have slayed. No, I don't want to put that in. I'm so happy with how this turned out again. Oh my god, I really have been slaying lately. I just said slay like 4 times in the span of 30 seconds. But can we like just appreciate this for a second? It didn't really take me as long as I thought it would, which was nice. Once I like figured out how to layer them on one eye, the other eye was super duper breeze. But if you did this on yourself, props to you. I'm so glad that you tried it. And if you post it anywhere, make sure you tag me in pictures. I love to see what you guys apply my looks to your face too. I will be keeping the e.l.f. ears on for this outro because I feel like it really completes this look. It's giving very like Renaissance Festival, like fairy kind of, and I'll probably apply this look when I go to Renaissance Festival this year. All of my tutorials on YouTube are the more complicated looks, so I have more time to explain things, but I do less complicated looks over on TikTok and Instagram, so make sure to give me a follow over there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.